Hey, what's up, Periscope? How's it going? How's everyone today? Great to see so many of you join in. Thanks, Victoria, for sharing on Twitter and to your followers. Hey, Ireland, what's going on? Oops, I've got a notification that I'm online. How about that? Let's go ahead and silence my phone. Okay, there we go. Hey, everybody. What's happening? Hey, Finishing Touch, thanks for sharing. And, oh my God, Dave Clayton. Hey, man, what's going on? All the way from the UK. Hey, DC and NYC. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Candace. I see your icon. By the way, if I don't call out your name, it's because the type is very, very tiny and you didn't say your name. Or I didn't recognize your icon. All right. So guys, I did this thing on my blog today. I did a review and I created, for that review, I created an animated GIF and I thought, I wonder if people don't, really know how to do this in Photoshop. Maybe I should turn this into a tutorial. So I'm going to test it out on you guys first. And then if you like it or if you get something out of it, then maybe I'll go ahead and record it as a YouTube video. I've given up on using, here, let me switch to me, by the way. Oh, there we go. I've given up on using the Periscope video as a, because it's recording a video to my phone that I could use after, but the quality of that video is just so bad now that Periscope needs to fix a lot of things. First of all, when you record landscape like I'm doing, which, by the way, this is, I think, the first Periscope I've done landscape of a tutorial, which is awesome. The video on the camera roll, at least on iOS, is still vertical. So it's like a landscape video turned on its side. Okay, I can live with that. I can turn it back in Premiere. But the other problem is that if, like, when I just flip to me, well, the desktop of the computer would be turned on one side, and then when I flip the camera around, it turns it the other way. So it's still vertical, but flipped back over. Okay, I could fix that in Premiere. More editing, but I could do it. But it's the quality itself that is really, really bad. Like, it's not HD. It's really, really low resolution. So Periscope, if you're watching this, please fix your bugs in saving the video. I know it would also be great to save the video with the comments and with the hearts, because if I were to post this on YouTube, people would be like, well, who's Dave in the UK? Who's Dave Clayton? Who's so-and-so? Who's Victoria? Who's Candace? So I'd be calling out these names that no one would be able to see. And Finishing Touch is like having a conversation back and forth right now with Victoria, and that's great. I'm glad you guys are doing that. But no one would be able to see it from the raw video. So I'm going to stick to my screen recording that I've always done for my tutorials on YouTube until Periscope kind of fixes a lot of this stuff. And if they give me a high enough quality video, then it would be great to repurpose the videos that I'm already making when I do a scope. Then I could just go ahead and use them on YouTube. But right now, I did one from my iPhone broadcast when the Success came out. And I'm really not happy with it. It's okay for what that was, but definitely not okay for a tutorial. So with that said, we're just doing this kind of a test so you guys can see what's going on, see if you like it. Thanks for the hearts, by the way. Hearts are love, love hearts. Tap, 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 tap the screen if you don't know how. And if you haven't shared this broadcast with your followers yet, you can tap the little guy icon or unisex icon in the bottom right corner. That'll take you over to where you can share, or if you're on the iPhone, just swipe to the right. If you're on Android, swipe up. And then, like Judy just did, you can invite your followers. You can either send a tweet or just invite your followers on Periscope. It would be nice to be able to save the video to Facebook and Twitter as well instead of just a 24-hour limit. Which, when they came out with the share to Facebook, I got excited at first, but then I realized Facebook is a feed that lives on. So if I share a broadcast to Facebook, then that means, thanks Dave, that means that 24 hours from now or 25 hours from now, that link won't work anymore. So someone that didn't look at it in 24 hours would just have a dead link on the Facebook page. So I don't even use that feature because it's pretty much useless at this point until Periscope lets us save these videos or save these scopes for longer than 24 hours. And maybe they'll turn that into a paid service or something like that, but that would be awesome to be able to do it. Okay, so to the tutorial, let's let me show you guys what I'm going to work on and show you where the idea came from. I'll show you the finished result, and then we'll build it in Photoshop. Okay, so here we go. Switch back over to the computer, my messy desk and the computer. There we are. And let me get my iPhone open here to the picture we're going to work on. Okay, so this is my brand new iPhone 6s Plus, and I've got a photo here of my dog Lisa, and I used this photo as an example when I did the review as a live photo. So for those of you who don't know, now the iPhone camera has the ability, as an option, you can turn it on and it will let you do a live photo. And what a live photo is, it captures 3 seconds of video or 3 seconds of what's going on before it snaps the still. So if I share this, obviously it's going to be the still. But behind the scenes, if I hold my finger down on the picture, we see that few seconds before and after the picture was taken. So once again, hold down on it. Hearts for the dog. Yes, hearts for Lisa. And Lisa hates having her picture taken, so she was a great model because I had no one to shoot that day. She was a great model for my iPhone review. So again, hold my finger down. We see that few seconds of video, and we hear the audio. I just didn't say anything. And we get Lisa. So when I blogged about this, I wanted to simulate that effect on my blog, but I didn't want to make a video of it. So I thought the next best thing to do would be an animated GIF. So here's my review. You can go check this out right now. If you head over to terrywhite.com, you'll see the most recent post is my iPhone 6s Plus review. So it goes on, talks about the iPhone features, blah, 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 blah. But if we get down to the live photo area, which is right about here, you see that live photo effect. You see a still, you see it move, and then you see a still again, and it's just looping. So what that is that's an animated GIF, and I wanted to do it as an animated GIF because we get 100% compatibility across all browsers on all devices. Every web browser since like the 90s can play an animated GIF. So animated GIFs just work. We don't have to worry about what video format the browser supports. The other thing is I didn't have to post it somewhere as a video in order to share it. So that would be another reason. So, and also I don't have to worry about the person clicking play to see it. It's just animating the GIF that we have. Okay, so how do you create one of these? And I said from a video in my description. So here's the thing I learned on the iPhone when you do a live photo. So when you do a live photo, you have a photo that you end up with. So there's the still. That's on the actual device. But when you connect your device to your computer, your iPhone 6s to your computer, you actually get the video too. So it's basically recording that 3 seconds of video as a video file. That's a .mov file, and it's giving you the 12 megapixel still. So you get both files automatically. I didn't have to do anything but just plug my iPhone into my computer. I used image capture, which shows me everything on it. Image capture, by the way, is an app on your Mac. It's already in your applications folder. So just image capture showed me everything that was there, and I downloaded both the still and, surprisingly, the movie. I didn't even know the movie would be there. Okay, so now that I know I have that movie, what I'm going to do, I haven't tried this yet. Let me just see if this works. No, that didn't work. Okay, so oh, it is actually working. I'm getting a progress bar over here. So I just drug the movie into Photoshop, and Photoshop is, it's a .mov file. So Photoshop not only opened the video, but it opened the timeline for the video as well. So Photoshop, in case you didn't know, in case you were unaware, can edit video. As a matter of fact, yep, image capture is built into OS X. So it's in your applications folder if you've got a Mac that was from like in the last 6 years. All right, so there's the video. And great. And then what I wanted to do was, again, to simulate that effect, I wanted to have the video play a few seconds of video and then stop where the still would probably be. That's probably past the still, maybe right about there. That's where the still would be. Put the still in for a few seconds and then resume with the rest of the video. So the way to do that is in the lower left-hand corner here, you have your video editing tools that are built into Photoshop. So here, let me see if I can zoom into them. So you have the play, rewind, fast forward buttons. You've got a gear with more options, and you've got a split at playhead, as well as transitions. This is all in Photoshop CC. So I'm going to go ahead and just do split at playhead to cut that video in half, or where I had the playhead, not necessarily in half. So that'll give me the few seconds before, and it'll give me the few seconds I want after. Okay, so far so good. Now I'm going to open up the still, just double click on it. And I probably could have just drug it over, but there's the still. So that's the still photo open in another tab. So still photo in one tab, video in the other tab. So now I'm just going to take my move tool, and with the move tool, thanks for the hearts by the way, animated not equals not real. Okay, I get the technicality. You win the Geek Award. Thanks. All right, so now we're just going to move on, and we're going to go ahead and take the still, and we're going to move it over to the video. Did I do that right? Let's see. Yep, I did. Okay. And that will drop the still on the timeline and add it as a layer. So there it is on the timeline. So if I were to play this, we would get the video and then a really big still. Okay, so I need to size the still down. All right, so first thing, let's do a Command T or Control T on the still. Let's, by the way, when you do a Command or Control T to see the free transform, and your free transform is so big, your image is so big you can't even see the handles. While it's in free transform, here's a bonus tip. Just press Command 0 or Control 0 on Windows, and that will shrink it down to where you can see all four handles or all four corners. All right, so now that I got the handles here, we're going to go ahead and shrink it down. And again, we're just sizing it down to be the same size frame as the video. All right, so there's our still frame. Maybe we can overcompensate just a little bit there, maybe right about there, and size it. Okay, great. So now that's been sized down. And so now it's the same size as the video. Maybe a little bit bigger, slightly bigger. But there we go. Okay, so now I don't need all of how many ever seconds there are. So how many ever seconds this video is, or this still is, I should say. I think it's like 5 seconds. I don't need 5 seconds worth of that. So you can just grab the edge. And this is the great thing about doing editing of video inside of Photoshop, is that it automatically switches to tools that you'll need in most cases. So I want to shrink this down a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it down. And it's even giving me an indicator of how long that will be. So it's 2 seconds right now. If I wanted to be 3 seconds, I can stop on the 3-second mark and know that that still is now 3 seconds long. Okay, great. Now, of course, I need it in between. So I could rearrange the layers. That's one way to do it, but it's much easier to do it on the timeline because then you're getting exactly what you want. I'm just going to pick up that clip, move it over, and you even get ripple delete or ripple. I like to say ripple delete even though I didn't delete anything, but it automatically fills in the gap. It automatically says, oh, you're moving this clip. I'm not going to leave a gap there for you. I'm going to go ahead and slide everything else down. So it takes care of it. Now, if we were to play this back, this is what we have. We have the audio and video. we have the still for 3 seconds, and then we have the rest of the video. All right, so far so good. This is not 4K. Live photos are 12 megapixel photos. They're not 4K video. If you're going to shoot 4K video, then you'd be shooting a video. So this, remember where this came from. This came from the live picture feature, not the video camera. All right, so now that we've got that, I could add anything else I wanted in here. So if I wanted to put a logo in here or something else, for example, I can go to my libraries. And in my library panel, I've got my library. And we're going to scroll down. And in my library, I've got colors. I've got all kinds of goodies here, including my logo should be in here somewhere. So if I drag my logo on, now of course it doesn't know that I want it on top, so it's just going to, okay, once again, no, the movie it made is not 4K because it came from the live picture feature, which is not 4K. If I open this up, I'll give you the exact specs of it. Let's open it up in QuickTime. This movie that came from the live picture feature, not the 4K camera feature, is 1137 by 853. Oh, that's the current size. So it is bigger than that. It is, where's the actual size? Okay, 1440 by 1080. That's what size this video is that came from the live picture feature. It's not 4K. It's not supposed to be 4K. The only way to get 4K video from the iPhone 6s is to shoot video with the 4K option turned on. Hope that makes it clear. So that's the size of the video at this point. Okay, now that we've gotten past that and we got the logo in there, I see that the logo is in a layer in the same group as the rest of the video. So what I want to do is move that logo up. If I can grab it here. Trying to move it up above. Let's see if it lets me drag it. Hang on. Let's move this up. Why am I not able to move it at all? Oh, because there's something that Photoshop is telling me. There we go. Let's drag that in one more time. Sorry, it was waiting for me to confirm the size, and I didn't commit to it. So let's drag it in one more time. There it is. We're going to go ahead and commit. Now the logo's there, and now I should be able to drag it up in size. So let's go to the logo so we can see it. There we go. So there's the logo. I'm going to go ahead and drag it up above the video folder. There we go. Oh, it gave me a heck of a time getting it up there. All right, let's drag it out and see what happens. There we go. Now I should be able to drag it up. Keeps wanting to put it in the folder. I'm trying to get it up above the folder. There we go, finally. Okay, I got it up above the folder, and what that did for me on the timeline was now you see it. What did I just hit? Sorry about that, I just hit something. Sorry. All right, now you see it above the rest of the clips on the timeline. So this allows me now to move it over in place. Don't want to move it that far. Right there. And I can also stretch it out. And now the logo is in place on top of the video. So layers are layers in Photoshop even when you're working with video, but they give you some control. So for example, I can still pick that up and move it. I can resize it with free transform. And again, I'm going to zoom out for my handles. My handles are confined, that's good. And we can size it down, put it wherever we want on the video. All right, so now at this point, what you've done is you've taken, and I need to commit to it, we've taken a video, brought it into Photoshop, we added a still, we cut the video into 2 pieces, put the still in between. From the library panel, I drug out my logo, put the logo on another layer above the video content. So this is what the layers panel looks like, by the way. And so now we see the logo is above the video folder containing all the other content on the timeline. And at this point, now it's up to you of how you want to export it. Now, if I wanted this to be a video again, all I'd have to do is go up to my File menu in Photoshop and choose Export Render Video. So there's an Export Render Video command right inside of Photoshop that'll take all the stuff you've done on the timeline and give you another video. But that's not what I wanted. I didn't want video. That was the whole point. I could have just used the live video or uploaded in Premiere. Instead, if you guys like this, I'll do this as a YouTube video. But anyway, instead of rendering the video, what I want to do instead is save for web. Because the save for web command does high quality images, but it also does GIF. So let's drop the size of this down. That's a huge file. Let's bring it down to maybe, we'll start at 500 pixels high. All right, so that drops it down to be a lot more usable. But notice my settings, my presets. Well, I have it on JPEG, so if I export this right now, we're just going to get a still. But if I switch it to GIF, and I did 64 dithert, GIF or GIF, you guys fight it out in the comments how you want to pronounce it, but I'm going to stick with GIF for now. What it's doing is optimizing this and showing me what it's going to be as a GIF file, how big it's going to be. Is this the only way to get the GIF from Photoshop? It's not the only way, but it's certainly the easiest way. Okay, so now what this will also give me down at the bottom is it's showing me the approximate size, and that was one of my biggest concerns. Was I didn't want an image that would be so large that it would take forever to download on a mobile phone. You know, on cable or DSL or fiber, no problem. But for a GIF that big, that could be a problem on a phone. So your options are limit the colors, which I didn't want to do because then it starts looking bad. You can play around with the quality and dither settings, but again, now you're probably going to make the image look bad. Or the next best thing is to simply just make it smaller. So instead of making it 500 pixels, I think I ended up at 400 pixels. And it's not that much smaller. People will still get the idea of what you're trying to do. And that will give you, still rendering here, still building a new one. That will get you much smaller size. I think I saved like a megabyte of size on that. And if I wanted it smaller, I just keep making it smaller. Now, here's the best option down here at the bottom. Obviously, I want that animation to continue playing. So instead of playing once, I just switched it to forever. That means it will just keep looping forever. So that's what that animated GIF experience is like, where it continues to animate until you move away from it. It's going to keep rotating and keep playing the animation over and over and over again. So that was the last thing I had to remember to do, is change this looping option to forever. All right, so now that I've done that, the only other thing to do is simply hit save, and it's going to ask you where do you want to save it. So I'm saving it to my desktop for now, and we'll call it Lisa Scope. That way I'll know which one it is. Lisa Scope GIF, and that will save it to my desktop, which I'm going to go ahead and find it on my desktop because it's on a different display. Let me go find it real quick. There it is. Let's move it over. All right, so there's the Lisa GIF that it created, or it should be here in a second. I did move it over, didn't I? There we go. Oh, it's still putting in the same spot. Okay, hang on. Let me get a browser so we can see it. Let's do that. All right, I'm going to launch a browser. And once the browser launches, we'll drag it into the browser so we can see it. Okay, so here's Safari. Let's go ahead and bring that over. What software am I using? I'm using Photoshop CC. And now we'll just drag the GIF into the browser. And there it is. So it should pause for 3 seconds, play the end, and then start over again. So that's basically how to create an animated GIF file from your video using Photoshop CC. What do you guys think? All right, I got hearts, I got it's cool, I got awesome. So, would you guys like to see this as a YouTube tutorial, or a YouTube tutorial? The hearts are flying, so I'm going to go with the hearts as a yes. All right, lots of yeses, lots of woohoos. Yeah, so again, these things come out of necessity. When I want to do something, I start thinking about ways it can be done, and I wanted to simulate this on my blog, which I did today. And that was one of the easiest, fastest ways to do it, other than not posting just the video itself. So again, if we go back to the blog, it's on, you can go see it today. It's on terrywhite.com. And it's on my iPhone success review. Yeah, so adding the logo, I didn't do it on this one on the blog, but I just thought that I threw that in as an extra tip for the scope, so you guys got a little bonus there of how to add other layers. So you could add text, you could add whatever you want. How did you get the GIF to animate on click? Well, it's not animating on click, it just animates when the page loads. So that again, you just highlighted the main reason I wanted to use a GIF as opposed to a video or anything else. By using the GIF, the minute the page loads, it starts playing because it's a graphic. So it starts loading that graphic like all the other graphics on the page. Nothing to click on. So when the user scrolls down to this on my blog, you can go try it yourself at terrywhite.com. When they scroll down, that image is already animating. It's already playing the frames of that GIF. No, they don't have to click on it. They don't have to do anything else. I don't have Photoshop. Where can I download a free one? Well, I'm not going to tell you how to pirate Photoshop since I work for Adobe. And I wouldn't tell you if I didn't work for Adobe. However, you can go to adobe.com and download a free trial that lasts for 30 days. And that's free. All right, guys. I think that's it. Since you like it, I'm going to go ahead and record it while I've got everything all set up. And you'll see this on YouTube in the not too distant future. And again, if you want to see the actual file itself, just head over to terrywhite.com. It's on the latest post today. Take care. Thanks. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for following me. Thanks for sharing the broadcast. And why didn't I live stream this on the Facebook? Because I had a feeling that this was going to go to YouTube, and it's just much easier to just go ahead and post the YouTube video on Facebook. That was the only reason. So I live stream to Facebook when it's something that's not going to be, you can get Photoshop and Lightroom. Yeah, okay, I was looking at that. So I live stream to Facebook for things that aren't going to be recorded permanently. So Facebook, my Facebook fans will actually get the actual video, whereas I can't share the actual video on Periscope. So see the difference? All right, guys, take care. Thanks again.